listening to Into the Arena, a Hunger Games podcast sparking the fandom one episode at a time, with your hosts, Holly and Emily. Special thanks for music by Sam Cushion.
Hi, welcome back to episode 20 of Into the Arena. I'm Holly.
And I'm Emily.
And here we are, 20 episodes in. And today's episode is probably one of the ones I'm most looking forward to that we've ever made. Today we're going to be talking all about our fan casts for the Ballad movie, which is going to be awesome. Probably going to have some fights with Emily, I already know. So stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, make sure that you're following us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere at Into the Arena Podcast for more content. And join us on Mondays for Mockingjay Mondays. We just finished Ballad and our whole Ballad read-along. So now everything that we want to talk about that's Ballad related, we are allowed to. Spoilers are welcome on this account now.
And we are no longer spoiler free. That's for sure.
You could have read with us. So if you didn't, go back and read Ballad, and then I'm sure we'll have some fun things coming up in the next few weeks. So yeah, I don't know. Do you want to just jump right into this episode?
I know. I'm just ready to get started.
Same.
Snow is obviously the big question, but I wanted to start with something else, kind of more random and fun. So let's talk about Lucky Flickerman.
Okay, so my picks, first of all, I'm just going to do a disclaimer. The only time I ever fan cast characters are when they're the big characters. I'm not good at, I don't know that many actors or actresses, so I just do a lot of research for this. But I don't know how I feel about my pick for this one.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah, for Lucky Flickerman, aka likely Caesar Flickerman's dad, I picked Leonardo DiCaprio, which they'll never get Leonardo DiCaprio, but a girl can dream.
Maybe he's a secret, super Hunger Games fan. You never know.
That'd be great. Wouldn't that be wonderful? But I picked him, I think it's just because of how versatile he is in his acting. He can do anything, and I know he gets really into what's it called, the acting where you just fully immerse yourself into the character,
method acting.
Yeah. And so I just kind of thought it'd be funny to see him method act as a crazy weatherman from the Capitol.
Oh my gosh, every time I hear method acting now, this is a random tangent, but I think of that Robert Pattinson quote where he's only people who are playing terrible characters do method acting. Nobody ever does method acting when it's you're playing a really nice character. It's just an excuse to be an ass, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So he could method act and it would be great. But I honestly like one of your picks more than my own, to be honest with you.
Well, of course, we've talked about this in the lives, but I think it would be fantastic if Stanley Tucci came back and reprised his Flickerman legacy.
Yes, that is the one I 100% agree with.
If they tone down his look a little bit, I mean, they did him up so much that he really doesn't even look like his normal Stanley Tucci self. So I think if they strip that down a little, I think it would be great. I just would love to see, and it would be hilarious, just a little bit to see him every time reprising that role. But that's very unlikely to happen, I think. Although I do think it's possible. I think it's possible. Yeah. I think they would consider it. They'd think about it. It'd cross their minds. But my second pick, and one that I actually feel really strongly about, if they don't get Stanley Tucci, I would love for Santino Fontana to be Lucky Flickerman, who is actually the person who recorded the audiobook for Ballad, which just listening to him do the Lucky lines in the audiobook, it's just, I'm oh, it's perfect. And I feel he's very, he's a Broadway actor. So I think he has that same kind of big personality that could do that role. But then also he's played characters that are kind of the loser guy. And so I think he would do that really well of being like this weatherman who's like trying to like make it big. It's like up and coming.
Yeah, no, that's a perfect idea. I was watching the video that you linked into the outline because I am not familiar with him outside of Ballad. And I mean, the fact that he's on or he's done Broadway shows, I mean, I feel like he'd be the perfect character or the perfect guy to play such an outlandish character like a flickerman. So
I think he'd be great.
yeah.
I think it's possible too. Like they'd be like,
Mhm.
hey, like you did the audiobook? Do you want to be like in the movie?
Yeah.
So I think this is the one that I feel most strongly about of the whole list
Oh, really?
because I think it's realistic
Mhm.
and I just think it'd be perfection. Normally I
Wow.
don't like when they like cast people and they don't give them auditions, but I'm just like, this one, just pick him.
Just trust me on this one. I guess he already had an audition. I mean, by using the lines that are in the book. There we go.
Yeah, so that is my pick, Lucky Flickerman.
I love that. Well, here's the big pick. So we go
Oh
from
my
Lucky
gosh.
to the main role, which controversial. We have a lot of picks for this because we asked everyone on our Instagram to submit their picks for
Mhm.
different castings.
And
And
then
obviously,
I added in some people that are like the popular kind of
mhm,
choices as well if we didn't like get those in our DMs.
yeah. So obviously, this one's probably going to be the biggest one.
I mean, this is the role that you have to get right. It's kind of
Yes.
like I mean, he's the main character, but like it's kind of like Katniss in the trilogy. No matter how good everything else is, if Snow doesn't like carry, he's got to carry the film.
Hmm.
So this is a really important one.
Which I think it would be so much harder to be an actor playing someone like Snow versus an actress playing someone like Katniss, because the way that he carries himself, like as we've reread Ballad, just his snarky attitude, his sass, his narcissism, just everything about how he has this like superiority complex towards everyone, and that's how he carries himself. But then he also like is able to blend in the background and know when he needs to take a step back and act humble.
Mhm.
I don't know, like this is going to be a
Yeah,
huge
that actor
deal.
has to have that perfect like duality,
Yeah.
and that's gonna be
So
tough.
I know, but obviously, so this is the one that I can definitely see for sure, but we'll go through the listener picks, and the most popular pick probably is Cody Fern,
Mhm.
who I can see it so much. I really can
I
see
know.
him.
I feel like this is an example of like perfect fan casting.
Yes.
He's a little bit old. He's 32, but I really don't care.
He doesn't look 32 is the thing.
No, I don't think so.
Hmm.
It's just like actors are cast so much older all the time, and I just feel like the acting is so much more important than it feeling realistic that he's in like high school.
Hmm.
He's got to carry the
But
film.
I mean, the thing is, I've always compared the people exclusive image, like the illustration of Coriolanus, to what Cody Fern looks like. Like you put them side by side and they look close to
Hmm.
identical. And so
Hmm.
I mean that is like a perfect casting, like you said,
He's
based
got the
on what.
eyebrows too, like which
Yes.
is very important because Donald Sutherland has the eyebrows.
Hmm.
I want it to make sense.
Yes.
Have you seen him in anything?
I watched him in his season of American Horror Story. It was Apocalypse was I believe the first one he was in. And I mean, I don't remember much because I mean it was like a couple years ago, but
Mhm.
I didn't think it was like bad or anything.
Yeah, I watched like YouTube clips and I was like, okay, like I'm sold. This guy can do it.
Yeah. Whereas, okay, one that I'm really skeptical about. Okay, so is the third it on our outline, it goes him, somebody else, and then is that Chase Stokes?
Yeah, did you look up Chase Stokes?
Yes,
Because
from
I
Outer
did not.
Banks. Like I'm sorry to whoever submitted this. I
Wait, that
think it
was
was
Chase.
Chase. Yeah, it was Chase. Chase, we can't have the guy from a Netflix teen show be Snow. Like I just don't understand. I don't understand that. His acting is so bad. and it's too cheesy, and he's just too much of a model looking boy that I could not see Chase Stokes as Snow, in my opinion.
He looks very like too pretty
Yeah.
to me. And then I only know that he was in Outer Banks, and I haven't watched that.
Yeah,
I'll
don't
trust
watch
you
it.
on that, Holly.
Don't watch it. You will agree with me on this one.
I want like,
promise.
like probably a British actor is gonna be the one to like an acclaimed British actor, young up and coming. So I want someone who's been in like gritty stuff or like period things.
Yeah, because
he just really handle it.
He just gives me TikTok thirst trap kind of vibes. Like, and that is not the Snow that I want to see at all. So
what about, have you seen like, so other like listener picks, but then also like popular people as well, Lucas Gage and Lucas Tonneson?
Yeah, Lucas Lingard or something. Tonneson. I haven't watched. I believe that Lucas Gage is from Euphoria, which I have not watched, which I'm like the only person my age that has not watched Euphoria. So I feel like I'm really burned
I haven't seen it either, but we're not the same age.
But I don't like Lucas Gage for like based off of like what I've seen of him and his images, just based off of physical appearance.
I like how he looks. I think he looks kind of similar to Cody Fern, to be honest.
I think he's just a little too buff for me. Like I picture Snow as like a very smaller, scrawnier individual, whereas I think that Lucas Gage is a little bit too more buff.
I mean,
like
Cody
bigger
Fern
boy.
is kind of that way too, but he just looks perfect.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see the appeal. I don't know. So that was the one that I also don't agree with. But I mean, I could definitely see the other Lucas based off of the image, but I think he could pass. I don't know. I have never seen any of his acting. I'm going off of this man's physical appearance from this image that you posted, and I could see him.
Yeah, I tried to pick the most Snow-like looking one. Okay, what about Timothy Chamelet?
Chalamet,
whatever.
Okay,
this is why I never say his name, because I cannot pronounce it.
I call him Timothy. So everyone, I know that I said I don't want Timothy to play Snow, but I really want Timothy Chalamet to be Snow so bad. So the first time the news came out, I was very like, I don't want all the weird fangirls just coming to the theater just to see him and kind of like ruining the fandom. You know what I mean? Like if you pick like the biggest hot shot in Hollywood right now, which is Timothy Chalamet is definitely up there, you're gonna get a lot of like fake fans, which I mean like is good because then we'll have like a bigger outcome of the film, but at the same time it's kind of like, this is my fandom, stay back, you know? So that was the one thing I was kind of not happy about. But Timothy Chalamet fits exactly how I imagine Snow to be in the book. He is scrawny, he's very like lanky and like kind of taller. I've seen so many of like things that he's been in, and Timothy can act. He can act so amazing. And I know that he would be able to pull off, like you said, like the duality of what Snow's character is. And so while I would be a little worried at first with like fan base and like what that would mean for the fandom, I can just based off of who Timothy is, he's my Snow. I can see him. He is my Snow.
What, Holly? This is like such a change of heart from when we talked before. And when I saw his name as like your pick on our list, I was like, what?
My only pick. My only pick.
Your only pick.
Yeah.
I know. I saw that too. I'm like, what? Just him? I can see it. I mean, I would not be upset with that choice. I think he's a great actor. I mean, in everything I've seen him in, so I'd be on board. Is he gonna look good with blonde hair though?
Oh yeah,
that's the question.
He'll look good in anything, and I think that's the thing. Like, he's very attractive with his color hair right now, like his dark hair. But if they were to like get him a wig, like a good wig, or they bleach his hair, and it's like that really, really light blonde that I imagine, like, I mean, like, it's hard because this is like reverse, but AJ's image back here, where it's like bright blonde, platinum blonde, I think it'll make him look a little less attractive, but just enough
It's like
attractive.
might be a good thing.
Yeah, I think that would be a good thing. So
Hmm.
I don't know.
I would like that he wouldn't look so much like himself,
Mhm.
to help me get into not seeing him as like his other roles,
Yeah.
from seeing him in like so many things.
Plus his age would be pretty close to Snow. So I think that's
Yeah,
why I'm
what
kind
is
of leaning
he's
more towards.
24,
Yeah, I
I
think
think.
so.
No, yeah, I can see. How tall is he?
Let me look this up.
Because I also would like the idea of like Sejanus being like a bit taller than him and kind of like larger than he
Yeah.
is.
He's 5'10". Yeah, so there's definitely
Okay,
room for somebody to be
okay.
taller.
Holly, you're kind of like selling me on it. Like I like it.
We were so anti it literally when
At
the rumor
first,
came
because of all
out.
like the
Yeah.
fangirls, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which like clearly I'm not. I can't even pronounce his name.
To a T. But okay, let's talk about your picks.
I mean, my top pick that's not like in this. I mean, we're not talking Cody Fernan. Like honestly, maybe like Timothy is like up there like for me
Yay!
now. But I like my biggest after that is Will Poulter.
Yeah.
He has the eyebrows. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
like that's
Mm-hmm.
step one. And I think he's a really good actor. I mean, everything that I've seen him in. The only thing that like I'm worried about is that I don't really like fan casting people who have kind of like played really similar roles before. And I don't know, all I can think of is like Narnia, where he's playing like the kid who like everybody hates. And
Mm-hmm.
I think he's done a lot of roles where he's disliked in that role. Like he's supposed to be the guy that you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would be a good opportunity for him to kind of add that like second piece of like being able to be like more charming. I don't think he's had really roles like that, but I still think he could do it.
Yeah.
So it's more like I really like him as an actor and like I want to see him be put in like that situation because I think he would do really well.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, if you're talking about like how you were saying the physical appearance, like he's kind of large and like
Just
kind of like bulky. So I don't know, it'd be totally different from Timothy in terms of like appearance.
yeah. No, I definitely like based on his facial structure and his hair and just how I've seen him in his roles, he's an amazing actor.
He's
And
a
so I
really good
definitely he
actor.
could get away with that like personality aspect of Snow. It's just a matter of, like you said, how appealing he would be because the whole point of Ballad, I think, is to give you this character that at face value should be perfect, should be on the right track, and then you see just how evil they slowly become. And so I
Yeah,
don't know if you could have that initial attraction.
I've never seen him do anything that's like more soft at
Mm-hmm.
all or like kind of a romance at all. So I'm unsure about that, but I believe he can do it from
Yeah,
like the acting ability that I have seen. I think he just hasn't
definitely.
really been given like that role yet. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like this could be the one.
I kind of agree. I could see it. I could see it.
My other main one that I had on here was George Mckay. And I just came across him. He was in a movie with Amandla. It was focused like during the time like World War II, and it was a
Mm.
romance film like
Aw.
with him and Amandla. And I was like, this is like almost giving me Lucy Gray and Snow vibes because he was like a soldier. Yeah, I mean there was just like drama and turmoil in their relationship because of I mean her race and everything that was happening. So
Wow.
yeah, there's one like image of them just like sitting like in a meadow together, and I was like,
Oh.
this is just like this is Lucy Gray and Snow.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I don't know. He was just giving me Snow vibes, and he seemed like really a really good actor in the scenes that I watched from
Mm-hmm.
that film, and then another film he was in that was like where he was a soldier as well. That's like a low key pick of mine.
Yeah. I could definitely see it. I think all your picks for Snow are spot on.
It's so funny just like looking at all these pictures that like we have on our outline. It's just all these blonde boys.
I know. I'm just like, we're just like
They
looking
all
over
look
for reference.
very similar.
Yeah. Oh, I could see this George guy being a PETA figure though. So
Yeah, there's something about I'm like almost he kind of has a soft look to him.
it looks like more like I feel like his smile gives me more like Sejanus vibes.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking like maybe Sejanus. That was when I was kind of having trouble like should I put him for Snow or Sejanus? But
Yeah.
But I don't know like too much about him, so that's not my strongest pick. Timothy and Wolfhard, I'm just on that train.
Yeah, me too. We can agree on those two.
If we can't get Cody Fern, which like isn't gonna happen, he's too old.
It'll just be our fan cast for now. It was like when everyone had pictures of who they picked before the Hunger Games actors were cast.
Oh yeah, like
it'll be like that,
Kaya,
and then they'll just forget. Yeah,
who was like the main pick for PETA?
I don't even remember. It was like
I feel like that was all over the place.
Yeah,
there was not a Cody Fern for PETA.
Yeah. So we can just have that for now. It's like a fill-in spot on the bench until we get the actual one to come in here.
Gosh, I just can't wait till we get some casting news. I mean, really some news that anything is moving along with the movie at all. But that'll be such a moment when Snow is cast.
Oh yeah. On from Snow, our next pick is who's going to play the Grandmam, which we have one in common.
We do. Our listener pick was, I think that was from AJ, who picked Ann Dowd, and then I put Maggie Smith on there because she's always cast as the old lady.
Yes. No, I had her on my list too. So I could not see Ann Dowd. I feel like she needs to be older.
Yeah, I think she's too young. So I'd cross her out, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a good actress, but
I
think she needs to be old.
I think the problem though with Maggie Smith, even though I also put Maggie Smith, was I'm not even a Harry Potter fan, and I think of her and I think of Harry Potter. So I feel like it would just be too much of a crossover for me.
Yeah, I mean, she's such a good actress that you're not really, I don't think, thinking about her other roles, but it's just like she's been in so many things. And I almost feel like she's too old.
Yeah, I agree. Do you want to go over your other pick or both your picks, because we haven't gone over both of them?
So, well, I picked Judy Dench, which we both picked. I think that's probably like the best bet from our list here. I mean, she's also a really good actress, but I feel like not as well known or like brought up as much as Maggie Smith. But I mean, yeah, she's fantastic. So
yeah,
there's like not much to say. And I think she looks like what I pictured more than Maggie Smith.
Yeah, me too.
And then I also had Diana Rigg. That was perfect. That is exactly what I was picturing in terms of appearance when I was reading the book. But sadly, she passed away last year. But I still wanted to keep her on the list because I think she's perfect. She was on Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I mean,
amazing.
If you look at her outfits from Game of Thrones too, with like her head covering.
Yeah, totally Grandmam energy.
Yeah, definitely. So too bad. Rip.
I know.
Rip. Yeah. But yeah, I'm on the same page. Like we said, Judy Dench is my number one pick, and then my second pick is Maggie Smith. So I'd lean a bit more towards Judy Dench, but
yeah. I mean, I'm sure they'll find some lesser known amazing actress.
Yeah, some kooky old grandma actress who's going insane. But yeah, that's I mean, I'm not too like thrilled with this character anyway, so my casting was more like finding grandma to play her.
Yeah.
But the next one I'm so excited about to have cast.
Yeah, let's talk about Tigress.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited for this. Do you want to go over the listener picks?
We put physical descriptions on here too to kind of remind ourselves, but the only thing in the book is golden brown eyes. So, but it's interesting because I feel like a lot of people are fan casting redheads for Tigress,
Yeah, that's very
which
true.
I don't really know why. I mean, when you think of Tigress in the Mockingjay movies, I mean, she's wearing kind of some like orange clothing, I think. So maybe that's why.
And her name, Tiger, like,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true too. So our listener picks, I think this is from AJ as well, Emma Mckay. And then I also wrote down Anna Sophia Robb because looking at kind of the fan cast and like what I've seen, it seems like Anna Sophia Robb is a pretty popular choice, but she's also one that gets kind of fan cast in so many roles.
That's what I was about to say.
All the time.
Yeah.
Which I love Anna Sophia Robb, so she could totally do it, and I would love that. Emma Mckay, I don't know too much about, but AJ was saying that her facial structure is a lot like, did I say this right, Eugenie. So I was like, yeah, I mean, she has like a really strong jawbone. I'm on board with that. I haven't seen her in anything.
Yeah, I could definitely see her looking at the pictures of her.
And then my pick is, oh my gosh, another one that gets like fan cast all the time for everything. So I'm so sorry. But Lily Collins.
Yes, I love Lily.
To be honest, I wasn't really that much of a fan of Lily Collins until I saw her in Les Mis. And like that was such a good role. Like that just really showed me how good of an actress she really is. And she kind of was just in things that were like a bit cheesier, like before that.
Rosie. I love that movie.
Or Emily in Paris.
Oh yeah. Just ignore. I didn't watch it, so I just ignore it.
I mean, I don't know. She was fantastic in Les Mis, and I don't know, just seeing her like dirty and like in that like more gritty role, I was like, oh my gosh, she could be Tigress, but she also has that kind of like charm and personality that I think Tigress should have.
And she's beautiful. Like I think that's a great fan casting. Yeah, I didn't even think about her, but I would completely be on that train with you.
And I think it's possible too. I think she'd do it. I mean, she's been in other like book to movie adaptations, but let's try again.
Yeah. No more, what is it, Mortal
Instruments?
Mortal Instruments.
Yeah. Have you read those books?
I read the first one years ago, back when the movie came out, and I could not get into it.
I read like the first 3 and then skimmed the other ones, but
yeah, I really wanted to.
I didn't get into it. I really wanted to too, because there's also so many books, but you know.
So this is her chance to be in another YA world, and she would rock it.
Yeah, I think so.
My pick, which I low-key stole from AJ, but because I genuinely wasn't really thinking of a fan cast for Tigress, is my girlfriend, Diana Silvers. I love this girl. She's in my favorite movie, Booksmart, which is like the best movie ever. I love it. It's my comfort movie. She's so beautiful. Oh my Lord, what I would give to see her as Tigress. I would sell my left arm to see her as Tigress because I love her so much. She's such a good actress. Oh, there's literally nothing to say. She's my girlfriend, so I have to support her.
I need to look at some clips or something.
Yes, so amazing. Oh, I love her.
What is she in?
Booksmart is my favorite movie. It's on Hulu, I believe. It's a super fun coming of age movie directed by Olivia Wilde. So female directed, loved it, super fun.
Yeah, I will have to look into it. And she's 23, so
yeah, I will fight for Diana. I love her.
Cool. I will support you.
So we're going to go on to Lucy Gravard. Everyone has different ideas of what she should look like, who she should be. Yeah. It's a huge conflict in the fandom right now, too. I see a lot of people. I mean, like, I get into fights with people in the comment section, low-key.
But it's so funny because we're so on the same page when it comes to Snow, for the most part. And then
I'm going to fight Emily. No. Get your fighting gloves on, because Emily and I are about to. I've been thinking about this since we've had our conversation yesterday. I'm like, I just need to know. I just need to go at her. Like, I'm sorry, Emily. I love you, but we just gotta.
To be honest, I don't really have that many opinions about Lucy Gray, like
Yeah,
the casting.
that's true.
I am just of the stance like woman of color, great actress. That's what I need.
That's what we can agree on. That's our starting ground that we can agree on. A lot of the fan casts are not women of color.
They aren't, and honestly, I don't even want to like talk about them.
Yeah, so this one rubs me in the worst way. The absolute worst way. Don't get me wrong, I'm an Olivia Rodrigo fan. I like her music. She's not Lucy Gray. She can't be Lucy Gray. She's white AF. She's so white. I will not allow that. And she's just too teeny bopper mainstream girl right now that I can't.
Yeah, and that's all I've seen of her acting as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I haven't seen her in anything like more serious. That's not like, I mean, I've seen, yeah, I've seen some of that Disney-esque, and it doesn't mean that she can't, because like thinking about Lily Collins, it was really just like the material that she was given, but I just can't, maybe they would see something in her and cast her in the role. I don't know, but I just don't see it, like from what I've seen so far. She's a good singer though.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, but the way that I think of it is like, imagine during the time that they were casting Katniss, we had Miley Cyrus cast. I feel like it would be very similar to that, because Miley Cyrus at the time was a huge Disney star, huge pop star. So I feel like it could be very similar.
People definitely fan casted Miley Cyrus as Katniss too.
So I definitely, no, don't even talk to me if that's your pick. I'm sorry. But I just
people
can't.
Submitted that.
Yeah,
so
I respect your opinion.
sorry.
But I can't.
If you love her, that's cool.
Yeah. And then Diana Silvers, who we also talked about for Tigress. I believe this was written by AJ, saying if they don't cast a woman of color, then Diana, which I could see. I just don't know how or if she can sing, honestly. So
see, to me, I'm like, it doesn't really like, it doesn't matter if she can sing. I mean, most actresses can like sing a little.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
most people can sing a little, and like I think of Jennifer Lawrence, like she's not a singer, but she did absolutely fine.
Yeah,
and they're gonna cut a lot of the songs anyway. They can make the song sound better. I just feel like the acting is the most important thing, and then being a woman of color.
Yeah. See, as much as I love Diana, we need a woman of color. She's too white for this role. So,
and we know that Nina Jacobson like has that intention.
Yes.
So
thankfully,
if someone white is cast, like that would be such, I honestly think it would be even more of a problem than Katniss, because like we know that the intent is there. And then so if they change that, it just would be so frustrating.
As we have a stand-in, Cody Fern, for Snow, I feel like right now our fandom stand-in is, of course, Maya Wynn, which I love her.
Maya Wynn is the kind of top pick in a way. I love her music, but I don't know if she can act or not.
I love it. I'll stick to that until we get official casting.
Yeah, she's kind of like the Danielle Churchrin, who was in the Mainstay Pro videos, and everyone was kind of like behind that because we've seen something visually, which is nice.
Yeah. So I mean, not a woman of color, I believe, but she's a stand-in for when we get our actual actors to come in here. I mean, one of your picks goes along with one of the most popular ones. If we want to get our fighting gloves on.
Zendaya.
Oh,
I don't understand why you don't like her. I mean, she was fantastic in Greatest Showman, and I wasn't really a fan of hers before that. But when I saw Greatest Showman, like, she was so fantastic. And I mean, she can sing, which I know I said is not the most important thing, but it's there. And she just has the look to me of just what I pictured when I was reading. So I think Zendaya's like a really good choice.
I agree with all your points.
But
it's nothing against Zendaya. I like Zendaya, don't get me wrong, but I feel like my problem with fan casting Zendaya is that she is I feel like people act like she's the only 20-something-year-old woman of color actress out there. There are so many others that I feel like she gets every role. Like, you can look up her like IMDb, and it's just like she's in Euphoria, she's in Greatest Showman, she's in Spider-Man, she's like so many mainstream things that I do like her, and I could see her being that, but I think she's just too popular and is almost just like our token woman of color right now in her 20s as an actress. So I think that's the only problem I have with it. I just want somebody new to be cast, and somebody like with
more like up and coming.
Yeah.
Give someone a chance, the opportunity.
So that's the only reason.
I
love Zendaya. I agreed with all your points, but I want to see somebody else.
At the same time, like, has she been like in a main role?
I mean, she's in supporting roles, like pretty big supporting roles. And Euphoria was her main role. I do feel like this
would be like at a totally like new level.
But Euphoria, I feel like, is where she really shines. I mean, that's where she won her Emmy or her Emmy, I think.
Well, I haven't seen Euphoria, so now I'm gonna watch it and then think that she should be cast even more.
Yeah, so it's just, for me, like, I don't know, I want to see somebody new.
No, yeah, I totally I get that, and I would agree. Like, I feel like I would see Zendaya, and I want someone that's just totally new, that can just embody that character, and like that's who they are, and that, propels them forward into other things afterward.
Definitely.
So I agree, but I do love Zendaya.
Yeah, no hate to Zendaya. Now that she has a boyfriend too, by the way, she's doing Tom Holland. Get out of here. But
I know. Like, could you imagine if Tom Holland got cast as Sejanus, and
they're just like kissing?
They were both
like
in the Snow's just third wheeling.
Yes, as he does. I guess I skipped over one more listener pick though.
Yeah, someone sent me, this is a really popular fan cast too. Someone sent me a video on how to pronounce her name, and I don't know. So I'm gonna butcher this. Reisha? I don't know.
Mihai?
Yeah, sorry guys. I meant to look that up before. Hate to disrespect her that way.
I mean, if you just look her up, like the image you posted with the guitar.
Yeah, she's very like Lucy Gray vibes, for sure. Like with the guitar and like her hair, just like she looks like Lucy Gray.
Yeah.
Her and like Zendaya are definitely like, wow, this could be Lucy Gray in my mind. And she can sing, I guess.
What's your second fan cast?
Halle Bailey. She is, I know she can sing, so there's that. And she was recently cast, I think she was on Grownish, which I watched some clips from that. Seemed like a good actor, like in my eyes. And she's, I think, cast in the live action Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if she was cast in that, I think I'm putting like some trust there that she's probably a good actress and can sing, if they think so, for live action Ariel.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I like her look, and it seems like it could be like a probable casting choice based on like what she's doing right now.
Definitely. I could see that too.
She seems like she has like a sweet, like kind of bubbly like look to her.
Yeah, which is so
I like
Lucy.
That.
Definitely.
So you have some good ones, I think.
Okay, so my most popular, like most mainstream, I would say, pick is Yara Shahidi. She is also in Grownish, and I think she's definitely my top pick for Lucy Gray. I think she's stunning. She is like I don't know, she just has that like appeal to her cheekbones. Oh my god, her cheekbones for days. But like she's also an amazing actress, and I could just see her so taking on this role and doing such a good job. I would be so confident in her. And women of color, which we need. That's not Zendaya, no offense.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you about Yara. I really like her, but I just like didn't think about her when I was coming up with my Lucy Gray picks, and so I would be totally on board.
So yeah, definitely number one.
Can she sing?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah, we don't care. It's gotta be Yara.
I'm sure she can.
And just imagine her alongside, again, like that's why creating the like main character cast, I'm like, just imagine her next to Timothy. I feel like it would be I feel like it'd be so perfect. They're both beautiful.
How tall is she?
Let's see. Yara Shahidi height 5'3". Perfect. So
Right.
she's smaller. He'll still be very lanky compared to her.
I mean, she doesn't have to be shorter than him, but after like Josh and Jennifer, like I don't know, I just want it switched.
Oh yes, 100%. Yeah. But then I picked. So I tried to educate myself on some smaller actresses that like I haven't watched any of their things. I've just gone and looked through interviews and clips of what they've been in. But the first is Salma Malhass. She's 20 years old and she's a Jordanian actress. So I believe that she speaks multiple languages, and she was in a Netflix show a few years ago called Jinn, which kind of received a lot of backlash just because of how crazy the show was, I believe. But just based on her looks, I could definitely see her being Lucy Gray, only based on how I've seen her act in clips that I've watched of her.
I'm not sure about her acting because like I looked her up and it seems like she's gotten a lot of hate for the acting, and like I think the acting of the movie in general. I didn't look too deep into it, so that makes me a little wary. Like I don't know from a critical viewpoint what her acting is like, or if she could really like take on the role. But she looks great.
And if you just look up her pictures, I'm like, how is it possible to be this beautiful? Can somebody tell me? But I could definitely see her aesthetically being Lucy Gray.
I mean, so many of these actresses are just like gorgeous.
So I know, I'm like, oh. But the other actress, so I picked like Salma, Yara, and then Amber Midthunder. So she's in one really awful movie that just came out on Netflix. It's like something about ice road truckers or something. It's a bad movie. Don't watch it. But she is a Native American actress. So I thought that would be awesome to have like some Indigenous representation in the movie as well. And I just think that she looks like Lucy Gray. Like I think her, based off of images I've seen of her and different makeup styles she does, she could definitely pull off like that rainbow dress Lucy Gray sort of vibe. So I definitely could see her being Lucy Gray as well.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait till we see like who is cast and we see her in the rainbow outfit.
I cannot wait.
That is gonna be a moment as well.
So those are my 3 picks, but Yara is definitely number 1 just because I know she can act really great.
You know, like out of my whole, I might switch and pick Yara with you.
Oh, Timothy and
You're
Yara. I'm like slowly
on a lot of
convincing
these.
you. This is
but
awesome.
I still like Zendaya. She's my number 2.
Definitely.
So I can't wait to talk about our next character, Dr. Volumia Gall.
Yes.
Queen.
Which we have a clean sweep for one of the actresses.
We really do.
Yeah.
We had a listeners said, and I picked my only pick, and Holly picked her only pick, Tilda Swinton.
Yep.
Which is tough because like she has played these roles before.
Yeah.
It reminds me of how the top pick for Coin was how do you say her name? Sigourney Weaver?
I don't know.
Oh, well, she was like a super like popular pick, but she had played so many roles like that before, and I feel like it's the same with Tilda Swinton. Like she's always the baddie, but I still love her.
I could definitely,
and I think she would do like such a good. I mean, I know she would do a phenomenal job. It would be amazing. I put a picture in here of her from, gosh, what is this movie called?
Is it the one with the train?
Yeah, which I think that was kind of like an under the radar kind of movie. Yeah. And so I feel like she could play a similar character and it would have more of a wide audience. So I don't know that she's like played that character, kind of that like baddie character that everybody has like seen. So I still think it could be possible.
I agree. She's the perfect cast. Unless we find a smaller actress who looks and acts just the same, then perfect. Anyone like Tilda would be perfect.
Yeah. It's also making me think about like how everybody wanted Kristen Chenoweth to be Effie. And it's like, oh, that's like perfect. We can see it like so well, 1-to-1. Like that's who it is. And then they got Elizabeth Banks. and she's like similar, but like totally did her own thing, and like that's what's gonna happen with Dr. Gall.
Yeah.
But Tilda's win.
Until then, we'll have Tilda. We had 2 other listener picks who were Ann Dowd, who I definitely, no offense, cannot see at all, and Gillian Anderson, which I could see, but I think Gillian's a little bit too young for this role. She looks a little too perfect, in my opinion, too pretty.
She kind of embodies more of like what I pictured while reading, thinking that she was like attractive, like grooming kind of like vibes for Snow, which I mean I like that. So if they go in a different direction, like the direction that I see in my head, like I think she would be a really good cast.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you can't see Ann Dowd.
No, I can't at all.
Have you seen Handmaid's Tale?
I've tried to watch Handmaid's Tale, like I read it in high school. It just like disturbs me too much, so I just can't watch that show.
Yeah, I mean it is really disturbing. So
yeah. So no, I haven't. But based off of this image and the ones I looked up, I just feel like she's too intense, strong looking. Whereas I feel like Dr. Gall is intense, but in such a different way. Not like physical strength, not like overbearing, but more so her
it's
crazy
just like in her look.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm sure she would be able to like soften it up in terms of, I mean, just her acting ability. But I mean, if she doesn't look right to you, then that's that. I think it would be hard. It would be hard for me to not see her Handmaid's Tale character.
Is she like a big villain character in it?
Yeah, I would say she's like one of the main villains. And she's like interesting too. And that like, why does she believe this? Why does she think this way? It's a lot like Dr. Gall, I think.
I tried to watch, this is a tangent, but I tried to watch Handmaid's Tale right when the first series came out. And I watched the first few episodes and I was like, this is just too much for me. So I kind of want to try and rewatch it now.
Well, it only gets worse.
I know. That's what I've heard.
So, yeah, I'm like, I miss the days of season 1.
Well, that's what surprises me is the fact that you watch it, because you're like anti-American Horror Story, which is like, I feel like is on the same level field of Handmaid's Tale, because Handmaid's Tale could be a reality. Like I feel like Handmaid's Tale is even worse.
I can't do horror, like scary. Like I can't do anything where it would make me scared in my real life. Like, and it's mostly like paranormal stuff and like that sort of thing. But I mean, it's just not reality to me. So, but then there's definitely some like it gets into like torture porn, I feel like, and I have to skip through that stuff because it just seems
maybe I shouldn't watch it.
Nonsensical to me.
Yeah, but I don't know. I can't see Ann Dowd. Anyway.
I think I think she could do it and she could do it well, but I would just see her Handmaid's Tale character.
Yeah.
It would be really hard for me to get past. So she's not on my list, even though like I can see it visually.
Did AJ submit Ann Dowd? Because I know AJ watches Handmaid's Tale. Okay.
Yeah, AJ did their fan art of Dr. Gall based off of Ann Dowd. Yeah.
That makes sense then, because when I saw
look at the fan art, look at the fan art, and
it makes sense because I was like, that's not how I envisioned Dr. Gall. So it's like all coming around.
Like I can see it.
Yeah, it makes sense now. Okay, I get your art now, AJ. It makes sense to me.
It's more like acting ability, though, I think, for me, than like how she looks visually.
I'm the opposite.
Dr. Gall. That's who I want to play.
And also,
put me in prosthetic makeup.
I think we can do it, first of all. But second of all, I think that you put these 2 characters side by side because they're both your favorites, right?
Did I? Dr. Gall and Sejanus Flint.
There we go.
Oh my gosh, look at all these beautiful boys.
So before we had beautiful blondes for Coriolanus, but now we have some beautiful brunettes for Sejanus. I'm just like, oh, men galore over here. So funny. But yeah, so we have so many. This is like the final.
Oh my gosh, this is like the most people.
Which our listener picks were Timothée Chalamet and Ansel Elgort Ansel Elgort is a problem. We can't talk about Ansel Elgort.
Yeah, I didn't even.
Yeah.
Did I put his picture on here? No, I took it off.
So I liked him before, but now that I know, we can't have him be anywhere near the set. Timothée Chalamet makes sense. I was arguing pro Timothée Chalamet as Sejanus before I was swayed over to the other side, so I wouldn't be mad about it. Then we have, is it Louis or Louis Partridge? Louis?
I think it's Louis.
Louis? Which I had never seen him until I looked him up. And he's just too model for me. Too model. Too perfect.
Even the picture that is here.
Oh, well, yeah. And even the ones you look up, I'm like, no, this does not do it for me. But I respect his opinions. Yeah, he's just too cute for Sejanus, I feel like. Because we're not going for a Liam Hemsworth sort of character. Like, we're just going for a normal looking. Like, there's nothing overtly handsome or beautiful about most of these characters anyway. Like, it's not like Gale in the Hunger Games where Katniss mentions how hot he is however many times, you know? So we can't have a model play him. And then the last one, who Taylor is really keen on, Mina Masood. I don't know how to say this.
Which, when I put this into Google and his face came up, I was like, yes.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's super cute. Oh my gosh. I'm like on board. I haven't seen him in anything. I don't know who he is, but I'm like, cast that dude.
Okay. Taylor, you know how I love you. You know I love you so. But when I looked him up, I had the opposite reaction. I was like, this man's too
Taylor,
old.
I clearly love you more.
Stop. We fight over Taylor. But no, for real, I can't. I think he's just too old. He gives me like One Direction vibes for some reason. I feel like he's boy band vibes.
Well,
so
Holly, I'm old, so
I'm so sorry.
That's a problem for me because I'm late 20s. So what I think is cute is definitely skews older.
Yeah, I can't. Sorry, Taylor.
I love him.
I love you, but he's not on your picks list.
Well, yeah, because like he wasn't until I saw it, and well, see, I don't really know if he can like act the part or anything, so I'm not sure, but he's really cute.
So thanks to Taylor, Emily has 5 picks.
Oh my gosh,
Emily went out for her boyfriend. She had to find the perfect Sejanus.
And like, here's the thing too, like, I'm hoping they cast someone Asian. And I got really frustrated too, because I feel like of all the characters, like, I did the most searching for Sejanus, and I just like could not find. It was just like so frustrating to me that I didn't know any Asian actors, and like I couldn't find any. So I think that's like all the more reason that an Asian actor should be cast as Sejanus.
Definitely. Well, that's
so my other picks are all white boys.
Yeah. Well, my picks are white boys, but that's how I felt looking up Lucy Gray actresses, because I was so anti Zendaya. I'm like, I need to find more women of color.
Which this makes sense because like you're much more a fan of Lucy Gray, and I'm much more of a fan, I think, of Sejanus.
Yeah, totally.
So we really care about like the representation. I think of these characters.
Yeah.
But moving on to
dive into your picks, your white boys.
My boys.
Emily's potential lovers. Sejanus.
My favorite white boys. Tom Holland, of course. Like I just feel like this needs no explanation. Like he's just so cute, and I want someone who has like the eyes, like a little bit of the puppy face.
Yeah,
you know, that's Sejanus.
I can see it.
That's Tom Holland. And then I also picked Lucas Zuman from Anne with an E, which I don't know. It seems like on the internet he's like less popular now. I don't know if he like did something or there like was some drama, but I think he's cute, and I think he has that like puppy face.
Yeah.
I loved him in Anne with an E. And then I also have Nick Robinson, which I think is a pretty polarizing choice because I think this is a popular fan cast as well. He was in, I mean, a lot of things like Love, Simon, and was like the teacher drama one on Hulu.
I don't know what it's called.
A Teacher, I think. But yeah, I saw him in that. I think he's a really good actor. He might be like, I don't know, overcast in things, but he has the look, and I think he's a good actor.
Yeah.
He's cute. So
that's one I say no to, but I understand your reasoning.
He's not like my top pick, but I'm like, I feel like he fits like the checklist of things. So I threw him on here. And then probably one that people will hate me for, Cole Sprouse.
Yes. I think Cole Sprouse is hot, but I could not see him as Sejanus.
Yeah, maybe it might just be because I think he's hot.
Okay, like part of me maybe could. But I think it's just like
I'm unsure.
Yeah.
Like I think it's the same thing with Will Poulter, which I think Will Poulter has more of like the track record. I think Cole Sprouse is like almost there. He's like approaching that, but he's also just really attractive, and you know, I want Sejanus to be super attractive. But there's something about Cole Sprouse that just, I don't know. I think he could play like the wounded, kind of emo-ness of Sejanus really well.
100%. See, the thing with Cole Sprouse is, I'm gonna call it the Riverdale ick. Like, I love Cole Sprouse, but because I saw him in Riverdale as Jughead, I'm like, no.
I only watched season 1 of Riverdale. I heard that it gets bad.
Yeah.
After that, so I don't have like a sour taste in my mouth from Riverdale. I thought the first season was really good.
Yeah. But I mean, I definitely, I agree with you. I could see it, but I can't just envision it myself.
It's harder to picture like what he would look like. I think like, I mean, he's really attractive, but I don't like, what color would his hair be? Like, would he wear contacts? Would it like, I think he could act the part, but visually it's hard for me to imagine.
Yeah.
Who do you have?
My 3 white boys of the day are Timothée Chalamet, who I've already talked about, like, now I'm more Snow on for him for Snow. Jack Dylan Grazer, who is from It, which when I saw him in It, he was a little boy, and now he's all grown up, and I'm just like, what? But I just, with the curly hair, I could definitely just see like that boyish charm that Sejanus has, that like innocent side. So I definitely could see him, and he's an amazing actor. Like all those kids in the It movies were just so amazing, and they're so talented. So I could definitely see them looking towards some of those younger It actors potentially.
I wish I had seen it, because I know that, I mean, the acting is like really praised, but that is not a movie I can do. Like Stephen King, no.
don't go anywhere near Emily.
I tried to like watch some YouTube clips, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
Turning this off.
All of them were just amazing. And I don't know why. Where did my other pick? I guess I had 4. Finn Wolfhard was another one. He was also in It, and he's in Stranger Things. And he has like curly black hair. He's pretty like scrawny. He's all grown up now too. I'm like, my little babies are growing up, but I could definitely see him as Sejanus if they go for a younger casting of Snow. But my favorite pick is a guy from my favorite band. Oh, saw him live in concert a couple years ago. Oh my god.
Can he act, Holly?
Yes, he can act. He can act. He's in 13 Reasons Why. Dylan Minnette.
Right.
So
okay. Yeah.
I would sell both of my arms to marry this man. But I think seeing him play Clay, which I only watched season 1 of that show because that's all that they needed. That's all that the book was about. There's no reason to continue the storyline. It's like Riverdale, like just stop. But he just has this perfect Sejanus energy. Like he has the sweet, innocent, caring, compassionate, really motivated person who wants to do right for the world. And I could see him playing him so well. I don't know. I think Dylan would do amazing as Sejanus. So that would be my top pick. But those are my white boys for Sejanus.
I could see him in the role. I think like not a top pick of mine, but on the massive list.
Yeah, I know. Like go through our like pages of Sejanus casting. But our final fan casting, which this is a long episode. Go us for being so invested.
Right. I know normally it's been like under an hour, but sorry guys.
Sorry everyone. You have to listen to us talk about beautiful actors. Is going to be Dean Highbottom, who the description is hilarious, sagging skin and sunken physique. So let's hear listener picks from AJ, which I stole from AJ because AJ's great at casting, was Joaquin Phoenix. So 100% agree.
Yeah, I could totally see it.
So perfect.
Great actor. I don't know, not much to say there.
Yeah. But again, is it too small of a role? Not that we'd ever get Joaquin, but I'm just like, maybe we could get Joaquin.
I mean, I don't know. It just depends. Like, are these people like fans of the Hunger Games? Because a lot of times bigger actors will do things like that just because like they liked the original trilogy, or they're like, man, like I wish I had, like maybe they were up for a role in the original trilogy, but like didn't know too much about it. But then when everything came out, and they're like, okay, now this is my chance to like get in there.
Everyone send Joaquin a copy of Ballad and circle all the points where Highbottom is mentioned.
I just want to cast the fan art of Principal Nero from A Series of Unfortunate Events. Like how he looks on the cover, like that's Dean Highbottom to me, but sadly that's not a real person. But my pick is Hugh Laurie. And I mean, this is just like kind of nostalgic, I feel like, for me. I think he like looks the part, like he's a great actor. He would do it well. But also, like, he was one of my main fan casts and the fandom's fan cast for Haymitch.
Oh, yeah.
And I just want him to be in it. I just want him to make it in.
I could definitely see it. I mean, honestly, we're just casting old white men here, so it's fine. But
Or depressed.
Yeah, a depressed old man.
Drunk and depressed.
But I could definitely see Hugh being in it, and I would love for him to be in it. But my picks were Joaquin, Mark Ruffalo, who is, oh my gosh, I love this man. Let's just talk about like me just crushing on this whole cast. But Mark Ruffalo, I feel like he would do a great job playing that character because he's an amazing actor. Actor. And I could just definitely see him have, when I was looking up these actors, I was looking for like this almost like resentment that they could have and this sort of like buried hate towards Snow. And I could so see him having that. And then the last one is Bill Nighy. I don't know, Nighhy. He was in, the only thing I remember him from is About Time, which I love. And he was in an episode of Doctor Who. But he's just an old guy, and I could see him, like, it depends on how old we want these men to be, but I could definitely see him being Dean Highbottom.
It's probably, I mean, it's just like the Grand Man, right? There are probably lots of older folks who could do the roles really well.
Yeah, so those are my picks, but I'm kind of leaning towards Mark a lot, so.
Interesting. Yeah. I feel like that's the one that I see the least. Not that I would be against that or anything, but
we're gonna have the Hulk be in Ballad, so stay tuned. But yeah,
as long as there's not like a Lenny Kravitz situation.
Stop. We love Lenny. Stop.
Let's Lenny, make sure everyone auditions and everyone has the acting chops. Okay.
Lenny just like not. Screaming into the mic. I love you, Lenny. Don't listen to Emily.
Sorry, Nina, if you're listening. I apologize.
Stop. But anyway, honestly, I feel like we could do like a live about some of the rest of the characters because there's so many more like smaller characters that we could address, and I think that would be super fun.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really talk about like Jessup or I mean all the tributes, which I mean I didn't really think about them when fan casting the Hunger Games either. Yeah. So hopefully they just pick, people who need the exposure and are good actors, do really well in their auditions.
Yeah, I hope it's similar. Big names. I hope it's similar to the tributes in the Hunger Games where they're up and coming, like you didn't know who they were.
I like our picks.
I know. So
Lionsgate, call us.
We definitely need to send this to everyone at Lionsgate just so they kind of get a motivation to go to do something. And yeah, I think our cast, if it doesn't work out, we'll make a movie and we'll cast all these celebrities ourselves. So don't even worry, guys. Don't worry. But that was super fun.
Yeah, kind of a longer episode.
We're glad you guys stuck with us till the end. I guess as we're wrapping things up, just a reminder to check out all our social media, Into the Arena podcast, and join us for our next episode in the next 2 weeks as we get halfway through summer, which is so crazy.
Yeah, our read-along's done, so we'll probably be taking a little break on that, and then I think we're gonna pick it back up with Hunger Games at some point. So just make sure you're watching out for when that's gonna start.
Yeah. But thanks everyone for joining us, and share with us your different fan casts if you didn't get the opportunity. But until next time, bye.
See ya.